Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to Owlboy. Let's continue. So we spent what felt like the entirety of the last recording of 30 minutes plus reading dialogue and dealing with storyline, and I'm hoping we're done with that for a while. So this was the area where we're gonna need something, certainly, to open these sections. So we know that this Tropos area is probably the center area of the game. Let's see. And we still can't do anything with those characters. And we still can't really do anything with that. I'm thinking that there might be a light world, dark world element, and when we get to that, that might be a potential place where you can switch between a light world, dark world. Maybe it's a past and present element. Thanks to you for your help in Advent, youngling. It's a shame that we couldn't. So you have to talk to everybody twice, because everybody has 2 lines of dialogue. Let's see, and they're just talking about the cowardly guy, and they're saying he wasn't really a coward. And because they have at least 2 lines of dialogue, then you have to talk to him 3 times. Because you always have to talk to a character 1 extra time to see if they go in circles. And I don't want to even read any of this dialogue, but I just want to go through with it, because who knows, it could give you another character. It could give you an item. I did find an item by talking to a character and then learning a musical bongo code to play in. So on this element, I can't do anything, and even if I tried him, I can't do anything. And if I tried to toss him, I can't do anything. And if I try to toss him, I can't do anything. Good to know. The rings that you can fly around in circles and collect really needed to they really needed to turn into a repeated element. I guess that's the idea. So I couldn't burn things last time I was here. I guess that would help. Actually, that's an interesting idea. What can I burn? This little platform doesn't seem to do anything. This blocked off. And see, I don't know what we're examining here. It seems like we're examining nothing. Is there something, some kind of trick where we examine an area and then we overlap clouds? Like, what am I doing? Is this tree changing every now and then? You can examine even from that height. Now there was a game called Braid where you had to leave the game running for hours and hours to get a cloud to go from one side to the other for some weird achievement. But I don't think even if there was something like that I would bother to do it. Anytime they start making achievements like that, it gets ridiculous. Oh, here's one of those guys. We can talk to him at least. Hey, hey, bud. Hey, bud. And this is the shop, and we haven't seen anybody else, any of the helpers in the game. Much like how we're just flying through a lot of empty space right now, it is a little strange how this game seems to work. There's a lot of empty actions, it feels like. And we're back to this point. The next one isn't just cool, it's also very nice. So we got that green hat, and then we lost the green hat, like, really quickly. Trinket time. Here you go. And so we get more of this. It's Buccaneer's Nice Soup Canteen. Wrap it around your beak hole around that and tell me what you think. So we get an increase in our health. Level up. Yes, no need to thank me, just bring me more booty. And that's the one that we just got. And we already drank that one. And the dorky hat. And then we get a new hat. I have a hat. I can see that. Will you please bring it to the nice owl person? But no buts. It's yours, sir. Just toss that ugly. I'll just toss out that ugly green hat then. Oh my, such a hot style. Ah, it's a little big. But it does make you look pretty awesome. I miss it already. That's great. Back to your shack now. Okay, man. Alright. So we can't get this, and they were just hiding the hat. And if I wanted to equip the other hat, I guess I could go back here and equip it. And then we kind of have to grab him and leave. And so at what point do I lose the hat, I wonder? Let's examine this. Say, Otus, we should get a little rest before we move on. Sure. Now, we probably won't have too much to talk about, but I did want to do this. Guys, I don't think I'll be able to get any sleep tonight. Advent is... We know how you feel, Master Getty. How about we talk about something else? You're right, Alphonse. I need to put my mind at ease. And there is something that I'm really curious about. So tell me about the relics, tell me about the floating content, tell me about that cloaked weirdo. Alphonse, about yourself. I don't remember much about the relic's origin. I know that they are made by the ancient owls and that they contain extraordinary power, as you've seen. So maybe I'll get the other relics at some point and be able to use them. I'd guess that Dirk will be the one looking for the relic in the floating continent. Most of the other pirates are not independent enough for missions like these. They were not made to improvise, and the captain usually does not do work he considers beneath him. Good. If we see that guy again, I'll give him a piece of my mind. As you say. Anything else you want to talk about? The floating continent. I've never been there before. Do you know anything about it, Alphonse? I was there long ago. You mean months ago? Years ago? I think it would have been 8, maybe 9 centuries ago. Centuries? You're that old, Alphonse? Older. But the farther back I think, the less I remember. I remember hearing talk of a great machine built in the continent. A machine built by the owls further back than I can recall. These days, the floating continent is half overgrown with plants and half submerged in lava. A terrifying, inhospitable place full of beasts and pitfalls. A good place for adventurers such as ourselves to prove our mettle. Yeah. Alright, anything else you want to talk about? Tell me about the cloaked weirdo. Cloaked weirdo? Who are you talking about, Master Getty? There was a strange guy outside the Owl Temple when we got there. He was reciting some book. Do you remember what he said? Let's see, he said. The Owl Temple, first of the great temples. Here the owls learned how to control the elements and challenge the natural order. By the end of the first aeon, they had mastered water, fire, wind. And I guess we did master all those things by the time we were done with that temple. And their work had here revealed to them the existence of the higher mysteries. So says the Book of Nocte. Impressive recollection, Master Getty. Does it mean anything to you, Alphonse? I've heard of this Nocte long ago. I think perhaps I have read the book he speaks of. But it's strange, it ends very abruptly. It seems I recall that there was more about these higher mysteries. Anything else you want to talk about? So that... Oh, I had totally kind of forgotten about the cloaked weird guy. Tell us about yourself. Tell you about yourself. What do you want to know? I don't know. Anything. Well... I've always wanted to be a dramatic actor. I wanted all of the world's finest from the stage. Under Maelstrom I wasn't allowed to, but when we have saved the world from the pirate threat, I hope to pursue that calling. Huh, that's surprising. You were created as a servant for the owls, weren't you? Were you made for acting? Combat was never my specialty. I much prefer acting and cooking. In fact, I was made to serve in whatever manner I thought best. Not all pirates were as fortunate as I. I'm just grateful that I found a more worthy master to serve, one who works for good. So, do we have anything else to talk about? The relics, floating continent, cloaked weirdo, about you. Let's just go to sleep. I don't even want to bother to see if there's like 2 responses, because it's possible that yes, there are more responses to all of those questions, but I just don't want to know. I don't want to go through this dialogue. It's just taking you further and further away from the limited amount of gameplay in this game. And see, I can certainly see why this game was a critical darling, because by so many video game players, because visually and in the first few minutes, yeah, it feels like a critical darling of a game. It's not until you start to you put in the real time that it starts to get repetitive and kind of boring and just a little unfun in general. Let's see, uploading content, down Tropos. Alright, I gotta carry him. And sadly, the truth is, a lot of video game people do only play a few minutes of a lot of games, and they'll even not finish games and write reviews of them, or they'll play in ways that are unfair ways to play because they're cheating and they've been given special advantages. Like in an example of a game like this, it really wouldn't be the same experience to if you never could take any damage, for instance. Well, we know there's a way over there. I'm just not sure what it is. Let's have him pick up and leave. And that's like the first time in several hours that we have collected any coins at all. And we've got to get something. Oh. Can I shoot birds? Let's eat that. Eat that. Is that what I was supposed to have done in the other areas? Is shoot birds? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about a game that would require the player to shoot birds for no reason. Seems cruel. It is a possibility. I guess owls would probably capture and eat small birds, but there's a difference between shooting them and eating them. Yep. And we can't really even do anything else here, so just up we go. There's way too much of that happening. Way too much of I'm gonna come back later gameplay where I'm not sure I really want to come back later. Help, anyone. I'm totally stuck down here. Okay. Oh, happy day. Mister, are you here to save me? I've been stuck down here for ages. I'm so hungry I was just about to eat my own feet. Hey there, fella. Look, we're still in dialogue. Wow. Did you just get teleported? Yeah, I did actually. I guess I'm getting kind of used to it now. Wow, I wish I could teleport. I'd never be stuck again. Whoosh. That's what I would sound like, hee. That's great. If I'd even be able to teleport away from Buccaneer's punch. I mean, I'll be able to return to Buccaneer's right away. Yep, that's what I want to be. Okay, should we help you out of here? Yes, please. Otus, you're carrying expert around here. I'll leave this one to you. Goodbye, teleporting man. Alright. And so how far do we carry this guy? Guess that far. Well, mister, thank you so much. I can totally make it from here. I'll be hanging outside Buccaneers with my bros. Come visit as soon as... Why don't you? And they're still doing this element of having fog and things over the screen. It's rather annoying. It feels like they were experimenting with whatever engine they used, whether it's some custom thing or Unreal or Unity. I don't even know. In this instance, I didn't see any telltale trademarks to say it was any of those, but seems like they're experimenting with some pre-existing idea or system to make fog, and they're just implementing it very badly. Same is true with the day and night cycle. Like, it should still be very easy to see the screen even when it's pitch black night, and it shouldn't be blown out or too bright at noonday sun, and it's not really the case. Like, so these rings should have never disappeared. They should instead be like this forever refilling element that you fly through all the time, and then they reappear. And honestly, the rings probably should be your health element, because then that gives you a decent reason to fly through them at most times, because we do take damage pretty often. Flying around all these spikes. This way to the floating continent. Everybody keeps pointing me the other way. And see, this is basically the exact same thing we saw in the Owl Temple, getting reused several hours later. Kind of lack ideas. Yeah, roll downwards to avoid taking damage. Grab a fruit, grab another fruit, stand on this, get some coins. Do we have any idea what this is? Well, Tropos Strato, which was 600, was just Tropos before, and now it's been expanded. I guess there's nothing else over there. This is an awkward, almost maze-like design. And you have these invincibility frames clearly after you take damage, so you don't really have to do anything special with that. Well, that guy managed to hit me right where it would hurt the most. And he was gone. I feel like I'm doing extra work for something I'm not completely sold on. This is one of those games that I could see myself getting bored with and not finishing if I wasn't covering it as a video game critic. I mean, when there is good gameplay in this, it's decent enough. It's never amazingly great. But there's a lot of times when it isn't here. Finally, we get our first one of these. We can see what these are and what they do. And very 3D, considering that they're going for more of that 8-bit 2D idea. The Guardians and the Machines. I, Aegulus of the Owls, made them all. With this token, you hold the key. Come to the sanctuary to see the glory of my accomplishment. And learn of this mistake that I have wrought. So is this going to be like a challenge level, or is that it? And see, it feels like the tree changed. So we've got one of those. We don't know how many there are, though. And see, I don't know if the tree changed or if it's just different lighting on the tree. The lighting effects, like just sitting here as it gets greener and darker. This really does feel like at some point we're going to have a system where we're just moving the camera to get the two pillars in the background to line up. I'm not sure if that's really what's going to happen, but seems a possibility. Now everything's all green. And if there was some kind of crazy puzzle where we had to go into certain areas to get certain colors to come back to the land in certain ways, that would probably not work, because then you'd play way too much of the game in odd looking colors. And once you get away from specific areas, it starts to return to normal vision. So that entire section got us a chest and a coin, and until we can find the sanctuary, we can't do anything with it. So these are some kind of new mechanical creatures that roll into balls, and they don't seem to be really stoppable before they are gone anyways, which is fine. They're like frogs that turn into stone spheres. Interesting. I like the music. Every time I hear the music in this game, I like it. But it's never... like, you can only do so much with music. Again, this could be the best music I've ever heard in my life, but it doesn't really mean too much. So let's just avoid these guys like the plague. Uploading continent. And these guys only get shot by the... they only seem to... they chase, and they only seem to be destroyable by this. And I ran all this way just to find myself kind of trapped anyways. Like, unless I could go in the background and climb up that path. Or unless some of these waterfall elements were... Like, I can go that far. So this whole section we haven't figured out. Like, sure. Like, when you get to it, you can do it, but you can kill some of them, but not all of them. And this isn't the first time we've had that as an issue either. The game has been, in previous instances, cruel about giving us way too many enemies to deal with. Which I guess is just more evidence that this is a targeted to adults game with an 8-bit style and kind of a kid-friendly animation style, but then a completely kid-unfriendly story and kid-unfriendly gameplay. So seems like there might have been two different concepts trying to be implemented here in their 9 years of development. And certainly compared to like a Zelda game where everything feels like it's thought out and everything is done perfectly, and you'd do a puzzle in like the Ocarina of Time and that would have been totally planned and thought out, whereas here it's just kind of more of a random enemies in places that don't really matter where they could be. They could be anywhere. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.